welcome to IndieSA Magazine's Video Online News and Views. Today we have with us world-famous Adnan Sami, who performed last evening at the Marina Bay Sands to a full house. Adnan Sami was brought to Singapore by D.I.D.S, who have become very famous in bringing big concerts to Singapore. Adnan Sami is an artist par excellence who is well-grounded in both Indian and Western classical music. Now to Maya Tsering Bhalla for the interview with Adnan Sami.
That's right.
Hi Adnan, it's a pleasure to meet you. I attended your performance last night and it was completely enthralling. I loved it and I think your performance was completely unconventional, very entertaining.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you have roots in both Western and classical music, and I understand that they both genres widely influence your music. How do you integrate that into your performances and into your songs?
Well, the thing is that a musician is a product of his environment. I happen to be fortunate enough while growing up. My late father was in the foreign service. He was a diplomat. So we used to go all over the world with him, so therefore, just as we sort of absorb different cultures wherever we go and live, it was only natural that music of that particular country, wherever we were, would have a profound influence in my life. So therefore, because my father was ambassador to many countries, I got a tremendous amount of exposure to, for example, Latino music, because we were in Portugal. And then, of course, European music and Western classical, and then because we were in the UAE, so Arabic music as well. So, and then of course, Indian music with special emphasis on Indian classical music. My father was even though he wasn't associated with the musical profession, but he was very passionate about music and the arts and literature in general. So there used to be all kinds of different forms of music in the house, and that's how I grew up. And so therefore, it was going to definitely have an impact on me as a composer and as a musician. And so therefore, whenever you hear my music and my compositions, you will find flavors of Western classical. Yes. You'll find Latino in there. You'll find even Arabic influences, and of course our classical music and Western classical. So it's all there.
It's fabulous. I mean, I love the whole integration, and I guess I do notice that as well. Do you find any particular genre particularly challenging to you, like to integrate into classical Indian music?
I think all genres are challenging in their own way. A lot of people sort of sometimes think that classical music, regardless of whether it's Western or Indian, is more difficult, for example, than, let's say, film music or popular music. That's a myth, which is not. Yeah, that's not true. I mean, if you want to acquire or attain a certain distinction in any genre, you have to really work hard, and you have to really study it well to turn around and say that he's a pop musician is absolutely ignorant, because popular music is very difficult to create, in as much as classical music.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So it's all they're all difficult and challenging.
All right. Judging from your unconventional performance yesterday, would you say that you have to, in a sense, design each and every performance that you have in different countries to suit different audiences? Do you find that in Singapore you'd have to perhaps, yesterday you used quite a few, you talked about maybe you brought up the whole thing about women in the house, and you kind of had like little sexual undertones to your conversation. It was very entertaining. But do you think you'd have to tone down on those kind of things if you went to a more conservative country, or do you have to design, change the way you act and perform to different audiences? And how did you feel the response was yesterday? Did you think that the audience was responsive enough? Was it well received enough?
Well, I mean, first of all, no, I don't need to really design the concert, my performance in any particular way, because thankfully there are women everywhere in the world.
That's true.
And so there's never that part is never going to change.
So the response is the same everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is that I joke with my audience. I play with them, and the thing is that sometimes you have a more conservative audience and all that, but that has nothing really to do with having a sense of humor.
That's
I
true.
mean, we all have a sense of humor, and well, we should. And so I just play and tease my audience because they love me and I love them, and so like they say, all is fair in love and war. So I mean, I'm doing it out of love, and they know where I'm coming from. They know me well, and so the thing is that I sing so many romantic songs. I mean, there's got to be a romantic side to me, and I'm always singing songs about serenading wonderful ladies. So I will. That is a part of who I am, and thank God for that. So I mean, I will do that everywhere. I will always want to, tease the ladies and play with them and have fun. And it's all in a very, very sort of innocent fun.
Good tunes, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you'd be surprised by that fact, but I saw these old Chinese ladies and a whole group of them. They were thoroughly enjoying the performance. They went up at the end when you sang Lift Karade to just go up and dance with you and everything. It was really cute. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw some as well, and that was really nice because it's always wonderful to have people from a different culture.
Yes.
To also come and experience our madness, and have a taste of how we sort of let our hair down, and they were having a great time, and that was wonderful. And
Yes.
and the thing that I loved was that even though they would probably have not been able to understand the language, but the thing was that it was everybody was vibing in such a tremendous unison that it really didn't matter where you were coming from, as long as you were able to feel what it was
Exactly.
the musician or the artist was trying to communicate. And I think that happened, which is why
Yes, it
I
definitely
suppose they sort of came and started to have a good time.
Yeah. Do you think that the fact that it was so well received, your performance, and is so well received around the world, is it because do you think that your ability to interweave Western and Indian classical music gives you a competitive advantage over, let's say, other Indian composers or Indian musicians?
Well, the thing is that you see, if you approach it with the angle that, all right, okay, is this going to give a competitive edge? Then it almost seems as if the whole thing is very choreographed, and it's very, very it's very deliberate, and it's extremely strategized. But the truth is that no such thought or angle comes into the construction of the repertoire that I present to my audience. It's just it's who I am.
You're a true musician.
I mean,
in every sense of the word.
well. I mean, I'm sure everybody. I mean, everybody who is where they. I mean, at a certain level, are true musicians. But this is this is my musicianship. Because it represents my history of how I grew up with my background of music. So it was never anything that was deliberately attempted to strategize, and it wasn't like a marketing strategy. This is the way I am. This is the way I play my music.
When I met you earlier, at Holland Village, you mentioned that you loved Singapore and that you'd love to come back more often, perhaps have closer associations with Singapore. Do you have any plans to stay here in the long term, or if you have any plans, can you let us know what they are?
Well, I mean, I would love to, have a kind of maybe a holiday home here, and be able to sort of come over here more often, and because I adore this city.
What exactly about it do you love so much?
Oh, I just love everything. I mean, the fact that the people are so friendly. I mean, I haven't heard anybody say noise yet.
Do you think that's more because of who you are than anything else?
No, actually, because the interesting thing is that I didn't notice it that much until somebody else came and said that to me, and I was like, "You too?" So it was like, initially when I saw such tremendous warmth and that whole wonderful initiative of trying their level best to extend their hospitality and their love, and very expressive about it. I thought that maybe it was maybe something to do with celebrity. But when other people came up to me who are part of my entourage, and they also sort of said that to me, and I sort of said within myself, I said, well, that's good. I mean that means that it's not just me. So it's like, all right, it's not because you're a celebrity. That's the way they are.
It's true, but
which is great, which is just amazing. I think that's amazing, and also, I mean, I think the city's gorgeous, as clean as anything,
yes.
And I found it really cute when we were out this morning, and someone said that, the traffic is so bad. It's like, you ain't seen nothing yet, honey. This is a day at the beach compared to Mumbai. I mean, so you don't know what traffic is. So the thing is that it's wonderful, beautiful places to visit. Lovely night life and so on and so forth. So that's I love that.
On a slightly different note, could you tell us a little bit about the award you won for the song you wrote? You won an award given by UNICEF. It was for a song you wrote for famine hit Ethiopia.
That's right.
And I think that's a tremendous achievement, honestly, because I'm a huge fan of UNICEF. So I'd love to know how you feel about that, and what would you have to say to people who want to help out in similar ways, who don't have as much influence as you, perhaps?
Well, it's one of the awards I'm most proud of, because it represents such an amazing cause, and I absolutely adore children. I'm crazy about children.
Oh.
So it's like I don't remember a time when I wasn't. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved kids. I mean, that's a new
Same
one.
here.
I mean, people normally don't like kids when they're kids. You know what I mean?
It's true.
I loved kids when I was a kid, and so the thing is that it was amazing for me to have the opportunity to do that, and it was at that time for there was a huge famine that had broken out in the 80s in Africa.
You were a teenager when you wrote the song, right?
I was 16 years old when I got this award.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it's like, what did you do after that? It's very difficult to top UNICEF United Nations award.
Wow.
So I mean, it was incredible.
That is really incredible.
Really
I mean, it's very late and overdue, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Has being the fastest keyboardist in the world, has it made any significant impact on your music, on your career in the music industry?
I find that one a little bit a bit strange. It amuses me also because it's not one of those things that you set out to do.
Yes.
I mean, you know, it almost makes it sound as if music is a sport rather than melody. It's like, you know, when somebody turns around and says, "What do you want to what do you want to be when you grow up?" "Oh, I want to compose a symphony. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to create the most beautiful melody. I want to serenade women with the most beautiful songs and poetry and so on and so forth. What do you want to do?" "I just want to be the fastest keyboard player in the world." I mean, I don't care whether it sounds good or not, but I just want to be the fastest, you know. I mean, hello. That's not what music is all about. So, you know, it wasn't something, you know, I mean, whenever somebody turns around and says, "Oh, you know, you're the fastest keyboard player in the world," I said, "Yeah, but can you understand the music?" Because that's what it's about at the end of the day. It's not a sport. It's like, all right, my stopwatch is on, play. You know, I mean, what's that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing is that, like I said, I never set out to do it. It was when I was touring, because I started off as a concert pianist.
Mm-hmm.
So I was touring and I went to Denmark. And in Denmark, the Danish radio turned around and suddenly saw my performance. And you know, when I go into the sort of the fast movement of my recital, they just suddenly turned around and said, "Wow, we've never heard or seen anything as fast as this. This is amazing." And I was like, "Really?" Okay, because that's the way I play.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never really gave it any thought, and until they came and they made a big deal out of it. And then after that, from there I went to Stockholm and I had a television performance.
Wow.
And over there, you know, they had the cameras, and you know, they tried to film me, and then they tried to sort of analyze it, you know, and become all scientific about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they then turned around and said that, you know, the thing is that our camera is not able to capture it because your fingers are moving faster than the speed of the shutter of the camera,
wow.
which is 24 frames a second.
That is something.
So when they slowed it down, when they slowed the whole thing down, it was just blur. So they weren't able to catch it, and so, you know, they were like, "Wow," you know, and all that, and I'm like, "Okay, that's nice." But that's it. I mean, that's it. There's nothing more to it, really. I mean, the thing is that it's interesting to know, but I mean, it's not something that I would sort of say that. You know, what's most important to me is if I'm able to do something to enhance music, because that's what it's all about. It's about melody. It's about you know, symphonics. It's about harmony and so on and so forth. So I'm more concerned about that than these statistics. Because music is not a statistic. Music is not about a stopwatch. It's about melody. And
Very well said.
And so, you know, people find that very, very interesting from a marketing pitch point of view or a gimmick, but you know, it's not. I mean, music has got nothing to do with these things, you know.
Well, I have one last question, quick question. You're a man of many parts. You're a true musician.
Yeah, I've got 2 hands, I've got 2 arms. Yeah, those are 2 parts. Pretty much the same amount that everybody else has.
You're a true musician in every sense of the word. You've had many colorful experiences that have shaped you as a character. And
all right, define colorful.
well, your
This
weight
is
loss,
interesting.
your tremendous weight loss, for example, which I think is highly commendable. Because I mean, I'm sorry, even people in The Biggest Loser don't lose that much weight, and despite all the money they get for it. I mean, you know, you did it out of.
I think. You know,
I mean, it's tremendous that the effort you put into. It's seriously, it's a fantastic feat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting that you mentioned that program because the strangest thing was that I lost all my weight, which was 145 kilos, and then somebody had a eureka that, you know, would you be interested in doing this program?
The Biggest Loser.
Yeah, and I just looked at him and I said, you know, first of all, it's the worst reason to lose weight.
It is.
Because the thing is that you should lose weight for the right reasons.
Exactly.
And you should lose weight because you want to be more healthy. You should lose weight so that you can change your lifestyle and you can lead a more healthy life. Not because somebody's going to put money in an envelope or give you a check. Because, the thing is that if that is your incentive, then you're going to put it back on. The first thing that my dietitian said to me, she said, I'm not giving you a diet. I'm giving you a change of lifestyle. So don't think that you can go on a diet and then after that, once you've reached your target, then, it's like, it's okay for the party, dude. It's not like that. It's, you have, whatever I'm going to tell you now, you're going to carry on for the rest of your life. So, you've got to do things regardless of what they may be for the right reasons.
That's great. I mean, that's exactly why I think it's such a commendable feat. I also think, going by the same question and judging from your, the colorful part of your life, are there any regrets you have from your past? Like, is there anything that you'd love to change now when you look at it? Anything you've done in the past or decisions you've made in the past that you'd like to change? Any regrets?
I'm too much of a Leo to say that I have any regrets.
I understand that. I'm a Leo too. I understand
yeah,
that.
There you go. No, but on a serious note, no, I don't have any regrets. Maybe if at all I would think about it. I guess, it's always the case. I adored my father.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry about your loss.
No, thank you. It's life. But the thing is that he was my universe. He was everything to me. And his loss was something that I still haven't been able to cope with. And there's certain voids that come into your life which are very difficult to fill ever.
Do you feel like you channel your father onto your own son in that sense? That tremendous love you have for your father. Is that why you have such a strong bond with your own son?
Yeah, the thing is that there's a lot that I learned from my father, and there were a lot of wonderful things that he did with me, which I feel extremely strongly about. I feel that I want to be able to carry that legacy towards my own son. And now, for example, a simple thing that, like I mentioned earlier, that I come from a completely non-musical family, but, my father never imposed anything on me. He never said that, these are the choices and this is what you have to do. And because our family and our traditions and so on and so forth are this way and that way. And he allowed me to choose my path. He guided me tremendously, supported me tremendously. So that was a huge lesson for me, which I tried to sort of pass on to my own son, that I don't want him to choose anything out of any kind of compulsion or any kind of pressure. So, and the other most important thing that my father, inadvertently taught me was he was my best friend. He was my best friend, and I could have
confidant.
Yeah, confidant. I could talk to him. I could joke with him. I could do everything. Of course, one always maintained the decorum, and I could joke with him, and I could talk to him about anything under the sun. I maintain that with my own son as well. Sometimes he has to sort of say, "Dad, Baba, we don't do these things." So why not? I become a little bit more of a rebel, and he has to sort of tell me to sort of tone it down. So the thing is that there's a lot that I learned from him. So if at all, I have one regret. It's just that I wasn't able to spend more time with him because his time ran out. And that's something that nobody can do anything about. But apart from that, nothing. I think that everything that I've gone through, I don't think there's a soul in this world who doesn't experience the good with the bad. But if you have a little bit of, hopefully, a little bit of intelligence, you learn from it. And it always adds to your being, and it adds to your character. And so I've learned a lot. So I have no regrets.
That's fabulous. Well, I have one very unconventional request. Could you sing for us?
And what is that?
It's a fake microphone, but
Oh, okay.
I just happened to wear it today. If you can just sing like a line of a song for us. Lift Kara De? I guess because it's the most popular song.
तेरी ऊंची शान है मौला मेरी अर्जी मान ले मौला तू है सब कुछ जानने वाला मैं हूँ तेरा मानने वाला मुझको भी तो लिफ्ट करा दे थोड़ी सी तो लिफ्ट करा दे.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you. And that was Adnan Sami, and I am Maya Tsering Bhalla, reporting from India Say News.